everyone. This week's Parashat Bereshit. We're going back every year, the same parasha, and we speak about the same things. And of course, we can learn so many things about this parasha. I think we can actually stay for months and months and months and try to learn about Bereshit, and we will not get to the end of it. That's why the Torah repeats himself every year, so we always learn something new. But there is a big question that I think it was asked by many, and the question is: you see the world again and again and again, and another year passes, and the world many times becomes worse and worse with wars and people just killing each other and doing things, and we ask ourselves, okay, how can God be so patient, and why we're still here? Yeah, why? How can it be that God doesn't interfere? Of course, we know and we learn from all the prophecies that God will interfere in some point, and there is an ending also to this world after 6,000 years. But other than that, we ask ourselves, what is happening? How can it be that Hashem is creating the world again and again and again and let all this happen? Yes. And this is a very deep question, first of all, in the Jewish faith. And we see, as the Torah begins, we see God creating the universe day by day, bringing order out of chaos, life out of inanimate matter, flora and fauna, in diversity. Yes. And in each stage, God sees that what he had made and he declares good. Now, this question was answered by many in the Torah, but I want to talk about what Rabbi Jonathan Sachs was talking about when he asked this question. So when we see that God sees everything good, we ask ourselves, when then went wrong? What went wrong? Yes. How did evil enter the picture, setting in motion the drama of which the Torah, in a sense, the whole of history is a record? The short answer is man, Homo sapiens, us, we alone, of the life forms that so far to us have free will, choice, and moral responsibility. We are the only ones who have responsibility and free choice. Yeah, the cats do not debate the ethics of killing mice, and cows do not worry about global warming. Warming animals in general do not have the capacity to think or they act by instinct. Yes, it is this complex capacity to speak, think, and choose between alternative courses of actions that is at once our glory, our burden, and our shame. When we do good things, we are little lower than angels, and when we do evil, we fall lower than the beast. Why did God take the risk of creating the one form of life capable of destroying the very order he has made and declared good? Why did God create us? We find the question, first of all, posted in the Sanhedrin, in Gemara in Sanhedrin. And he says, when Hashem created man, he created a group of ministry angels. And of course, he asked them, do you agree that we should make man in our image? There is also a question about this, our image, and what does it mean? Because many religions took this sentence and made it something else, as being more than one God, Chas v'shalom, or being the image like a person, yes. But actually, there is something deeper inside this sentence, and we will talk about this now. But anyway, after the angels, of course, knowing about what the man is going to do, they answer no, that let man not be created, and God created the angels, and he created group after group until he found those who said yes. Sovereign of the universe, the first and second group of angels told you not to create men, and it did not avail them. You did not listen. What we can say is the universe is yours. Do with it as you wish. And God created men. But when it came to the generations of the flood and the generation of those who built the Tower of Babel, the angels said to God, "Were not the first angel right? See how great the corruption of humankind is." And God replied, "Even to old age, I will not change, and even to gray hair, I will still be patient." Isaiah 46:4. We found this in the Babylonian Talmud, Sanhedrin 38b. Technically, the Gemara is addressing a challenge in this text. For every other act of creation, Torah tells us God said, "Let there be," and there was. In the case of the creation of humankind alone, there is a preface, a prelude. And God said, "Let us make humanity in our image, in our likeness." Who is the us? And why all this story behind? Yes, in their the sages, yes, in their chokhmah, in their wiseness, they try to explain this, what this means, and this question becomes very deep indeed. For in creating humans, God brought into existence the one life form with the sole exception of himself, capable of freedom and choice. That is what the phrase means when it says, "Let us make humanity in our image after our likeness." So the salient fact is that God has no image. To make an image of God is the archetypal act of idolatry. This means not just the obvious fact that God is invisible, he cannot be seen, he cannot be identified with anything in nature, not the sun, not the moon, the thunder, the lightning, the ocean, or any other object or forces people worshipping in those days. In this superficial sense, God has no image. So, of course, by worshiping an invisible God, Jews tilted the balance of civilization from the physical to the spiritual. But the idea that God has no image goes far deeper than this. It means that we cannot understand God or predict him. God is not an abstract essence, he is a living presence. That is the meaning of God's own self definition to Moshe in the burning bush. I will be what I will be, meaning I will be what I choose to be. I am the God of freedom who endowed humankind with freedom, and I am about to lead the children of Israel from slavery to freedom. When God made humanity in his image, it means that he gave humans the freedoms to choose, so that you can never fully predict, well, what they will do. They will do good, they will do bad. You can, God, of course, can do everything, but you cannot predict. A person can change like this, and a person can make tshuva, and a person can correct itself. They too, within the limits of our finitude and mortality, will be what we will choose to be. Which means that when God gave humans the freedom to act well, he gave them the freedom to act badly. There is no way of avoiding this dilemma, even for God himself. As so it was. Yes, Adam and Eve sinned. The first man-child, Cain, murdered the second, Abel, and within a short space of time, the world was filled with violence. In one of the most searing passages in the whole Tanakh, we read in the end of this week's parasha, God saw that humanity's weakness on earth was increasing. Every impulse of his innermost thought was only for evil all day long. God regretted that he had made man on earth, and he was pained to his very core. Hence the ageless questions, which goes to the ultimate questions of the heart of faith. Why did God, knowing the risks and dangers, make a species that could and did rebel against him, devastate the natural environment, hunt other species to extinction, and oppress and kill his fellow men? The Talmud, imagining a conversation between God and the angels, it should suggest a tension within the mind of God himself. The answer God gives the angels is extraordinary. Even to old age, I will not change, and even to gray hair, I will still be patient, meaning I, God, am prepared to wait. If it takes 10 generations for a Noah to emerge and another 10 for an Abraham, I will be patient. However many times humans disappoint me, I will not change. However much evil they do in the world, I will not despair. I despaired once and brought a flood, but after I saw that humans are merely human, I will never bring a flood again. God created humanity because God has faith in humanity. Far more than we have faith in God, God has faith in us. We may fail many times, but each time we fail, God says, even to old age, I will not change, and even to gray hair, I will still be patient. I will never give up on humanity. I will never lose faith. I will wait for as long as it takes for humans to learn not to oppress, enslave, or use violence against other humans. That implies the Talmud is the only explanation for why a good, wise, all-seeing, and all-powerful God created such a destructive creatures as us. God has patience. God has forgiveness. God has compassion. God has love. And for centuries, theologians and philosophers have been looking at religion upside down. The real phenomenon, as at heart, the mystery and miracle is not our faith in God, it is God's faith in us. Shabbat Shalom.